What would you say you do here?
It's the Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast. A podcast dedicated to up-and-coming bands, labels, artists, and more. Plug in and join your host, Brad Nunnery, as he dives deep into what the future of music has to hold and discover something new along the way. What else do you have to do?
Hey, this is Craig from the Atlantic Union Project. You're listening to Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast.
I'd love to marry you. Would you marry me? I think we made our dues so trustworthy. I'd love to marry you. So would you marry me? Just place your trust in me.
That was the Atlantic Union Project with Trustworthy. It's off their new EP, 3,482 Miles. Much thanks to Craig Cirinelli for recording that promo for us. Really appreciate it, man. If you like post-hardcore, hard rock kind of stuff, definitely check these guys out at theatlanticunionproject.com, or you can find them on social media at the Atlantic Union Project. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. My name is Brad Nunnery. Welcome to episode 5 of Signal Chords, Home of the Underground podcast. Set to talk with us today is a band called FREESPIRITS. Really killer band out of the UK. They're based in London. We're going to talk to Carlo, we're going to talk to Lucas, and we're going to talk to Flo, all three band members, and we're going to get to know them a little bit more. They are celebrating their 10th anniversary as a band, and they're headed over to the States here. Can't wait to talk to them about that. They're going to be hitting up some really killer states, and we're going to give you some details there. We're also going to talk to them about their latest song. Their latest song is called Greatest Prize. It was just released. I think when this comes out, it's already out. So you got to definitely check it out. We're gonna get some insights into it. We're gonna break it down, find out what it's all about, how it came about, all that good stuff. So stick around, hang out. It's Signal Chords, home of the Underground podcast. What's up, everybody? We've got Carlo and Lucas from the band FREESPIRITS. Thank you guys so much for joining the podcast today. Cheers, guys. Man, I'm so jealous that you guys have a beer right now. It's a 4:30 your time. I was just telling Carlo before the show that they would frown on me if I had a beer at 11:30 a.m. But no, it's all good. But thank you guys for joining the podcast. Really appreciate it.
I think it's all right after midday, they say.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys just wrapped up a show today. Let's talk about that. What show did you guys play today?
So we just played Sheffield, which is, it's a great city up here in the north, very musical city. And we played a couple of joints here, one called Network, and then the other one called Indigo Resurrection. And two shows, two kind of showcases, and went great, apart from the rain.
Yeah.
Pretty great. We love playing up here. The north is always good, so yeah.
Weather could definitely be better, but it's all right. And we're used to it. It's been 15 years already.
Yeah.
Come join us, man.
Uh-oh, is he joining now?
We got Flo joining us. Yeah, I mean, the weather's been, like Lucas just said, the weather's been horrible. So we're doing the interview from the car.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we love it. We come rain or shine, we're always playing live. We it's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny because every day, living in Florida, every day at 4:30, 5 o'clock, it rains like without hesitation. It's always when you're getting off work and it just starts raining, and it's like, come on, man, it's been sunny all day. And now you choose to rain, when you actually don't have to work. That's just the way it goes in Florida. You just got to roll with the punches. Not pun intended, from one of your songs, Roll with the Punches. So I want to kind of start off everything and talk about the origination of the band. Now Carlo and Lucas, you guys are brothers, obviously, and Flo is on drums. So you guys are originally from Brazil, is that right?
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, we're Brazilian Italians, and born in Brazil and raised there. And, and then we moved to England where we were kind of, on our early 20s, not even that. I was 20. Lucas was
19.
19, yeah. I was,
Yeah.
20, I was 20, 21, 22. Sorry, yeah. I get confused. It's been a while.
Did you guys come over here by yourselves, or you come over here with your family?
Yeah, initially by ourselves, and then with family, like, you know, mom and girlfriends and everyone joined us and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we always loved music, you know, and that's we tried making music in Brazil when it was okay, you know, it was kind of our formation years, let's say. We were very, very young, and we played in a couple bands, but it's very, very tough then, you know. There's not really it's difficult to make music all together, and even harder if you want to make rock music.
Yeah.
So we thought, you know, we figured we were listening to stuff like, you know, Oasis, The Verve, and some of the kind of European bands that were coming out at that time in 2002. You know, like there was Arctic Monkeys, I guess. There was the Hive, Strokes, all of these bands, and we got really kind of, you know, hyped. We got really influenced by that new wave of bands, and we thought we want to move to the UK. But, you know, fast forward 5 years, that's when we finally managed. I moved to the UK first, and then he came the next year, and we just started playing in bands and playing shows pretty much as soon as we could. We were hitting the pubs and clubs and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys are celebrating 10 years as a band, and we're going to talk about the tour here in a second. How is it, you know, well, actually, before we get into the tour, like, let's talk about the 10 years, right? What has changed from what it originally started, you know, when you guys originally started and to where you are now? Did you guys ever think that, hey, you're going to be doing this for 10 years? Did you ever, you know, did you ever have any doubts that it would actually last that long? Because, you know what, 10 years is it's a hell of a long time to be in a band, you know? I mean, luckily you guys are brothers, so you guys can, you know, manage it out. I'm sure it'd probably be harder if you're not related and sticking it out, you know, in different personalities. But if you're related, it probably helps out, does it not?
Yeah, I mean,
You want to answer this one?
there's always moments. I mean, it lasted longer than my last marriage, so it's
Yeah.
going well. So
That's good. Yeah.
Cut it out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So
That's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah, I mean, that was a good one, actually. 10 years is a long time, you know.
Man, thanks.
But I think we celebrate the goods and the highs and the lows, you know, the goods and the bads. We certainly started, you know, very DIY, very lo-fi, only me and him, and a bunch of musicians that came and went. Because it's, you know, this was in a very small town. We weren't in London yet. We were sort of on the suburbs, you know. We were kind of 1 hour away from London, so it was tough. You know, there wasn't many places to play and not many musicians. There was one drummer for the whole town that played in all the bands in town.
Oh, yeah.
That was, you know, that was the beginnings. Yeah.
He called himself the ninja drummer.
Yeah.
I mean, you had
Oh,
to be-
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? To playing so many bands and kind of pull it off. But, you know, we fast forward a few years, we're building this thing and getting our name out there and kind of slowly spreading out from that town, from Basingstoke, and we started hitting London and the major cities. And then we finally, you know, we found a solid kind of, you know, solid sort of identity. We knew what we were doing, started writing good songs, got a good drummer now with Flo. And you want to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Flo?
This is going to stake his spine.
Cheers.
So, yeah, I mean, answering your question, it is a long time. And I think that's why we got to celebrate, because you're so right. Some of our favorite bands didn't last for 10 years. So
Yeah.
I guess to be here and to be improving and getting better every single show, every single year, you know, we're just starting to crack America now, you know, after whatever years, you know, we've kind of been together. Now, I say now, but last year was the first time that we toured America, and now we've got the American bug, and we can't wait to go back and go back and go back.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, so you guys are doing it's a summer tour for 10 years. You're going to be hitting up a lot of states, not Florida, by the way. I'm kind of mad about that, but it's all good.
I know, man. I love Florida, by the way. I just want to shout out to Florida. I've been to
Yeah.
Florida early this year, actually, in January. and I loved it, man. I loved the weather. I felt like I was at home back in Brazil. You know, it's great.
Oh yeah, the heat and just swamp ass and everything.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Crocodiles.
mosquitoes. Yeah, no doubt. But you guys are going to you guys are hitting up New York, Virginia, Tennessee, Texas, Colorado, Iowa. That's in 20 days. It looks like you guys are going through August 2nd through August 22nd. So you guys are going for 20 days and hitting all those states, man. How you guys going to do it? And are you guys ready for it?
Yeah, mate. I mean, 20 days on the road, playing pretty much every day. So as you said, we kick things off in New York, and you know it's gonna be great because we've got a few friends in New York. They're gonna sort of help us out. They've been like, you know, they've been really huge assets helping us out, like sorting this whole tour out, because you know we're not from the US, so we don't really know. We've toured 2 times, and we toured March, which really helped us.
In March, we did pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
From New York to Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. In March,
Yeah.
I'd say, you know, March this year, we started in New York again, and we drove down, and we got to South by Southwest and played loads of like showcases there. So we kind of know our surroundings. You know, it's going to be our 3rd time down in Texas. We're playing 7 shows there now. We keep expanding over there, but you know, every time we go like this for this time now, like, you know, for August, it just keeps getting better. You know, it keeps getting bigger. We're going to play pretty much 16 to maybe 17 shows. There's only 3 days off, and we're going to hit new states. You know, we're going to hit new cities in Texas, loads of places in Virginia. We just have a few shows confirmed in well, we've got Davenport in Iowa.
Yeah.
We've got Dayton in Ohio. And we
Yeah,
just
we're
had a
playing
new
Ohio
show
for the first
confirmed
time.
in Nebraska.
Oh, nice.
We'll get back to you on that, but it's Lincoln. Yeah, it's Lincoln.
Yeah.
So the capital. And yeah, I mean, we just want to spend as much time as possible out there playing shows, because we've been so well received. You know, you guys, like, you know, people like yourself and so many other guys, like whether it be venues, promoters, booking agents. You know, everyone kind of seems to like us, so you know, said, why not? Let's do this.
So how and I was always curious about how either U.S. bands go out to the U.K. or they tour, you know, or U.K. bands wanting to tour in the States. How difficult is it, and what's so different? You know, you probably have to make a ton of calls and know a ton of people to try to get these shows. How is it? Is it a difficult process to try to get shows where you want to, or the path, or how's that all set up, and what are some of the challenges there for any band that's out there like you guys wanting to tour the States? What's kind of some of the advice that you would give other bands and trying to do that?
Absolutely. No, I mean, we get asked that question a lot. You know, when we went in, was it 2021? Yeah, it was. No, I'm sorry, it was only last year. Yeah, when we did the first one. And we only toured around, you know, we did South by Southwest and we toured around Texas, which for us, you know, as you know, British musicians, it's massive.
Yeah.
I was gonna swear. Can I swear or no?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It's fucking massive. Yeah, like, you know, Texas.
Yeah.
It's Texas. I guess Texas is bigger than the UK. You know?
Yeah, Texas is huge. You could probably play Texas for the next 2 years and never hit the same spot.
Absolutely. So, you know, just to give you just to give you an idea of the size and dimension. So we talk a lot about that with our buddies, you know, our homies here in the UK, and they asked us like, oh, you know, how to get shows that, and I said, look, mate, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I say, mate, just open up your mouth and start making those calls, start sending out those emails, get on Facebook, because everyone's very friendly on Facebook groups. In like, I'm talking about like sort of DIY home shows, and that's how you start. You know, there's no oh, I'm gonna get signed to a booking agent and then these guys gonna sort it all out for me. It just doesn't work like that. You know, you gotta get out there. I'm a firm believer of doing it yourself, getting out there, knocking on those doors, because no one's ever gonna come and ask you, oh, do you guys fancy doing a tour in the US and do 20 dates? The only way it happened for us was we risked it all in the first one last year. We sold a car. It's a funny story, you know. We had given this car as a birthday present to our mom, because she needed a car and stuff. And it turns out it wasn't really a good car. It was a bit of a crap car. We only found out later that it wasn't really a great car.
Yeah.
So what we did is we thought, you know, here I am. I always wanted to play South by Southwest. It was on our kind of, you know, bucket list. And we thought, look, I said to Lucas, South by Southwest is coming up. Let's sell that car. We get a bit of money together and we just go. And that's what we did, Brad, you know.
That's awesome.
We started hitting up Facebook and Instagram promoters and venues and many hours, as you said, many hours, like sending out those emails. We didn't do a lot of calls because of the difference of time zone.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anyway, you get the drift, yeah. It's getting out there, introducing yourself and saying, look, we're a band from the UK. We really want to, we want to do a tour here in the US. And 9 times out of 10, someone's going to get back to you and say, yes, absolutely, let's do it. And if they say, oh, sorry, no, we haven't got that date, but speak to Brad, speak to Jason, speak to, you know,
Right.
It was great. Like, you know, it was, and we made so many friendships, didn't we? We met so many people through.
Yeah, we feel like there's always a positive response when we play there. You know, the gigs are very, it feels like the very tight, like, community around, you know.
Sure.
I think that's the main
venues,
difference.
yeah.
I think you hit on the nail there.
Yeah.
You know, what we find here in the UK, and that's not dissing anyone, but for some reason, maybe cultural, maybe post-COVID, but, you know, the UK got hit pretty hard, especially in terms of, like, you know, the hospitality and like bars, clubs, venues. So a lot of venues shut down, and the ones that didn't shut down, you know, the kind of, we're still rebuilding the live scene and
struggling to get by.
Yeah, and I think, you know, being a small country and all that, it's hard. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of bands like for instance tonight here at Tramlines. You know, you got 3 nights or 3 days, I should say, and there's probably like hundreds of bands playing. So there's a lot of talent, and just, I guess there's just not enough venues. So I think what we're finding, and a lot of people say, you know, oh, what's the difference between playing the UK and the US? It's the distances are way bigger over there.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
A lot of driving.
Yeah, a lot of driving.
Yes.
A lot of hitting a lot of Waffle Houses and Buc-ee's gas stations.
Buc-ee's gas stations, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a question.
We love all
I've
that,
got something
you know?
coming up here in a second. I'm going to ask you about because I've got a little segment that we're going to do in regards to your 10-year anniversary and touring and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the states are. God, like, I live in Florida. I live in Orlando. But everything is 30 minutes away, no matter if it's 5 miles or it's 30 miles. And it drives you crazy because it's either traffic or it's the route you're taking. That's just the way it is. Everything takes 30 to 45 minutes. If you just go to the gas station, it takes 30 minutes. If you're going to downtown, it's going to take you, 45 minutes. But it's just, in Texas, I've been through Texas. I haven't stayed really very much, but I used to live out in LA, and I drove from LA to Orlando in 2.5 days. And so we drove from LA to the beginning of Texas, and then the beginning of Texas all the way back home to Orlando. And that trip was like 42 hours or something like that, or whatever it was. But I remember going through Texas going, when are we ever going to get out of this? I felt like we were on like a different planet. It's just a different vibe out there.
Well, you know,
but yeah, you're right.
You're so right. And I think that's one of the things that maybe, there's a lot of talk about British bands that try to make it in America and try to break America. You can't, it's impossible. But I think the biggest challenge is that it's long distances, man. You're either used to that and you get on with it, or you're gonna kind of like crack up. You're gonna give up and go back home. It's we were doing 5 hours from Austin to Dallas, and that for us, that is a long drive, because here in the UK, just to give you an idea, you could do London, Birmingham, the 2 major cities, in maybe 2 hours, less than 2 hours. You're in the Midlands, and then from Birmingham, which is what we did pretty much today, from the Midlands to the north, it's another 2 hours. So do you get what I mean? Yeah. You can tour in 6 hours, 8 hours. You can tour the country from south to north.
Definitely.
Whereas, I think it's a mindset thing. We had to adapt and go, right, if we want to tour America, forget everything that we know. But I guess it was easier for me and Lucas because we're from Brazil, man, and you know, geographically speaking, Brazil and the US are not very much alike. You know, they're kind of similar. You know, they
distance are very big as well. But the problem is that you can't really. There's only so many cities, main cities, that you can play in Brazil, and
whereas the US, mate, we love the fact that we can play anywhere, any joint. You know, just to give you an idea, we're playing some small cities, man. We're playing like Henrico in Virginia, which is just a joint that we stopped last year. And we like this place. And we started chatting with the owner, and he goes, man, we put on bands. You want to play? It's like, yeah, stick that on the calendar. And that was the first date that we booked for the August tour. And
now, is this the Roanoke show? The Roanoke, Virginia?
No, Roanoke. Yeah, Roanoke. I guess it's the night before, which is, you know, I'm guessing it's a small place. We've never been there. But we are playing Henrico or Henrico, depends on, depends on where you're from. And it's a very small joint just outside Richmond, but it's legendary, apparently. It's called, shout out to Lakeside Tavern. And they're crazy. You know, they do Korean meals, video, karaoke, and then rock band, you know.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the mix. You gotta have it.
There's actually a NASCAR track nearby. I think Virginia's NASCAR.
Oh, really?
But it's pretty close. I wanna pay a visit to it, maybe if we have time. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what we're doing is we're discovering America. You know, whilst we've still got the energy, that's what I say to people. You know, we might as well do it while there's still fuel left in the tank. You know? Yeah. And I feel that in a way we're just getting started. You know, we're still young, man. We're still, you know, we can still do this. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. How, what are some? I know you got the Virginia and you've got the New York and all that kind of stuff. But what are some states or I guess tour festivals or any of that kind of stuff? You guys, you know, what's the next goal? You know, you hit the States last year. You're doing it again this year. And then what's going to be kind of the goal for, you know, after this is all said and done and then wanting to come back, you know, what are you guys kind of looking at as far as your next goal in the US?
I'm gonna drop this one. This is brand new information.
Breaking. I don't have a button to press, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, huge announcement here. You know, you guys are the very first ones to know. But in January, we are planning to do the West Coast for the first time. And
awesome.
Not Florida yet. We're gonna get to Florida, and I promise.
God damn it! Come on, Carlo, quit bullshitting.
Hold him to that one.
Yeah. So we're doing West Coast, and luckily, kind of coming back to what you were saying about, like, you know, how do you book tours and how did we get started with the whole US thing? Is that the first tour last year was pretty much DIY, all us, and then this March as well. But this one tour, I want to give a shout out to a guy called Martin Cargill, which is our booking agent. We just started working with him for this summer tour. And the guy's been, you know, relentless. He's like us, you know, he has this kind of energy. He's always on it. And he has a lot of, you know, obviously he's actually in Florida as well. He's just off of Orlando. And, you know, he said, look, you guys want to tour? I'll get you shows. And we said, we want to tour as much as possible. And he went even above and beyond what we expected. We thought, you know, we're going to get a few shows and we can have a few days off and stuff. Well, he actually booked us out pretty much like the whole 20 days. So
that's awesome.
He's going to be a hard slog, but like I said to you, it's what we love doing. We love playing live, man. And we still believe in the spirit of playing live. You know, of doing
that's what it's all about, man. That's awesome. You guys still got fuel in the tank. You're willing to do it. You're young enough to do it, but you know, if you have the means to do it, why not? I created a segment for your 10 years. So I'm going to do 10 questions, 10 years, 10 questions. All right. So I made these up literally 5 minutes before we got on here. So 90% of them are really horrible questions, but just bear with me. All right. So, all right. So 10 questions, 10 years celebrating the summer tour. All right. Who in the band helps the least with all the gear? Who would you say?
I don't. Well, it's mostly just two of us, and then we are. Our drummer is a really great guy. Our current drummer, I don't think we have any.
All right,
any
I'll
issues
answer
with
that. Usually I have to tell him, mate, let's get on,
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I always help,
No,
We don't
we're
have
pretty
that
good. We're
problem,
pretty good with helping each other out when we, and we don't have,
Last
we don't
time
have,
I was carrying these big ass fucking speakers.
yeah.
in the car.
No, we work well together.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's no lazy bums in a band. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, so who's the most likely to drink the most on tour, on this U.S. tour coming up?
I think that's gotta be Flo. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, he's the partier.
Not even here.
He's left. He's went to get.
He's like
another
in and
pint.
out, like the whole interview.
He nips out from the interview to grab another pint. So I think that's your answer there.
The only thing
Yeah.
is he got me a pint delivery straight to the car, so I can't complain with that.
Well, that just answers like my next 12 questions. So I'm gonna have to let me scroll down here.
No, we try to. It's a tough one, because when you're on the road, you get kind of bored, because there's all this kind of hurry up and wait, as I'm sure you know. Like, you
Yep.
rush to the next town, and then you sound check, and then you have to wait for like 5 hours to go on stage. So
Right.
all you can do is just grab another pint and then grab another beer.
I mean, it's
grab
kind of
another.
like it's a working holiday. You get to like sample the local stuff. The local beer or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? This is so true. I mean, the other thing that we love about touring America, anywhere really, but America especially, is that you're hitting up all these kind of breweries. When we were down in Tennessee, we just kind of stumbled upon this place in Manchester, Tennessee called.
Shout out to Common John Brewery.
Yeah, Common John Brewery. And what an amazing place. I'm loving the fact that I think the craft beer market, there's a couple of places that we play that do their own beers. It's amazing, like they're just getting out there and doing their own thing, and I respect that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that is like the hot thing right now in the States is craft beers and these breweries that are popping up in every little city. Like every little town here has its like own brewery, and it's actually become like almost like a nightclub, almost a bar, and all they serve is their stuff. I mean, it's just it kind of went. It used to be like that, and then it took a dive for a while. And I was in the beer business. I used to be a sales rep for Miller and Coors, and I had a route and all that kind of stuff. But so microbrews, they called them microbrews back in the day instead of craft beers. And there was a lull in the market, and as far as that, but then it started creeping back up. And then after, like with COVID and everything, all these different places started popping up, and it seems like to be like the cool thing to do is to go to these breweries and just hang out. And they're all like warehouses, they look, they're all decked out, and they have all these different like old school 80s games that you can play and stuff. They have like all these different things to just keep you in there. But that's cool. I mean, you got to experience the culture, especially if you're in the States and trying new things and all that kind of stuff. I would do the exact same thing if I was out in the UK. I mean, my dream is to be out in the UK and go to pub to pub and all that kind of stuff and absorb the culture, man. That's one of my dreams for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. You got to come down. We'll show you we'll show you a few spots. What we usually do down here is we do like a thing called pub crawl.
Oh yeah.
It's not the kind of thing that you would do it every night because it's not good for you. But you basically have a find. Like let's say you go down to London, where there's so many pubs, like classic pubs, like historical, traditional pubs, and then you have a pint. The idea is that you have a pint on each one of them, and you can spend hours on that. But
gotta get your wallet ready for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we call it beer golf. It's like you go to the first bar, you have one, one pint and one bar. That's like the whole number one. Then you take a picture and every bar, and you go whole number. Well, hold on, let me see. Because whole number two, you take pictures, and throughout the night, it just gets like more crazy because by the time you get to like the 9th or 10th hole, you're like smashing half in the bag.
The photos start getting blurrier and blurrier.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, there's only so many times you can do it, but I kind of really sort of advise people on doing at least once in your life. It's good fun. It gets to the 10th or 12th drink, and you're drinking like gravy and vodka, and you don't even know what's happening anymore. So you definitely don't want to go there. You definitely want to stop. As soon as people start saying Jaeger bombs, stop.
Oh, no, yeah, I learned the hard way on Jaeger bombs. Yeah, there's nothing good comes out of having Jaeger. No good experience. I've never had it. Remember that one night we did Jaeger? How great the night that was. That was amazing. I've never had one of those nights. Same with Fireball.
I'm not that bad with Jaeger, but when it gets to the tequilas, I'm done.
Oh no, I can't even smell tequila. Forget that.
No, but I mean, coming back, it's it's been a great journey, and I think we I don't know. I'm getting emotional here, but I just really appreciate the fact that we're getting, that we're getting valued. We're getting valued in the US, and people are appreciating us, and that just makes us want to come back more and more, and show what we've got. Because for a long time we had these songs and we had this passion, but we just couldn't really play. Because like I said to you, there's only a few places that you can play here, really, and we've done them all. We've done UK tours a good few times. So I felt that, I guess, answering your other question is like, I felt that the next step for the band, so that we could keep things interesting and that we could keep kind of leveling up, was that let's go to America, man. Let's try to, because our sound, this, you listen to our sound, our songs. We've got that kind of grungy edge anyway, so you guys understood the assignment, let's say.
I mean, when you sent me over Rolling with the Punches, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I love it. I'm on board. I'll do whatever it takes to help out, because I mean it's so 90s, not to pigeonhole or anything. It's not a diss by any means, but it was just so relevant to what we grew up with and the stuff that we loved about music. And I loved Rolling with the Punches. I love this new track too that's just dropping. Actually, when this airs, it's out already. Let's segue into it as we speak. It's called Greatest Prize. It's out now, because by the time this gets out. So let's talk about this song. This sound, I listened to this song today. It sounds like a personal song. It sounds very personal and very straight from the heart kind of a song. Let's talk about how this song came about, what it's about, and what came first, the music or the lyrics? Because it's to me, it sounds like the lyrics came first, and then you put a hell of a song behind it. So go ahead and talk about Greatest Prize.
So much, appreciate that, man. I mean, you're bang on. The lyrics came first, very, very personal lyrics about all of these that we've been discussing in the last half hour, about having your dreams, having your goals, and your your things that you want to do, and kind of going head on into it. But then you start realizing, you kind of put that dream, if you like, or that, let's use, for lack of a better word, you put that dream all the way down there in the horizon, and you think, when I get there, I'm going to be happy. This is my greatest prize. When I get there, I'm going to achieve everything that I've always dreamt of. And then sometimes you got to stop, like here right now, Sunday, on a rainy Sunday in Sheffield, sometimes you got to realize that the greatest prize is just kind of, having someone like your brother next to you, having a loved one next to you. These are the greatest prizes, your wife, your children, and not getting famous and playing Wembley. That's great,
Right.
Playing
if it comes, it comes.
That is amazing if that happens, if it comes. But don't let that be, and let it be like, sort of maybe
Don't let everything else fall apart around you.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, like don't who am I to give advices? But if I was to say, a word of advice is for bands and musicians and artists, is that don't put your happiness only in the horizon, like, oh, when I get famous, I'm gonna be complete and I'm gonna be happy. No, happiness is right here, right now, and I think the greatest prize is realizing we're alive. I've got my family, I've got my health, I've got a bit of money, I'm doing good.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Okay, so I'm going to play a little sample. Let me see if I can, and if what I love about this song is the huge chorus. This chorus is like, I love it, and so I it's not edited very well, so bear with me. It cuts out pretty abruptly, but it was a last minute decision. Let's check it out.
All good.
There we go. Crowd loves it. Crowd loves it.
I was gonna say, have you got a live version already?
Yeah, no, but it's. I could have died 1,000 times. That's a great line. I love that line of that chorus. But yeah, it's an amazing song. So, are you guys going to do a music video for it?
Yeah, we're actually, what? We've been talking about this. We've been brainstorming ideas, and we recorded some stuff last night, today. So the live scenes are kind of pretty much there. But I think what we want to do is we really want to go all out this time and record a music video in the US,
Yeah.
As well as we're going to be there next week. So, one of our friends there has got this massive Maverick. I think it is. I think it's a Maverick. It's a massive car, one of them old school, all rides. And we're just going to try to kind of drive around and maybe, maybe have a few different ideas. I don't want to spoil it. There's going to be a story, a backstory to it. But yeah, we definitely want to record it out. Maybe New York, that would be great. What a place.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can't pay for a better backdrop than New York and doing all that kind of stuff, right?
And it's so, coming back to what you said, I had to die 1,000 times to realize my greatest prize was you. It's about this, it's about like trying to live off music and doing, maybe we've been lugging gear in the rain to play a show and then go to the next show and do this interview. You're doing all these things, because of your love and your passion for music, and getting out there and spreading the word as well, like, spreading the good message of life and rock and roll. But you also got to remember about, it's at the end of the day, it's only rock and roll. Don't take it too seriously.
Right.
Value your family and friends first and foremost, I guess.
And yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Are you guys working on a record? Is this going to be on an EP or is this going to be on a full length? What's the outlook ahead in the future here?
We've got an album. Yeah, we've got an album that's ready. It's ready to go. Pretty much ready. 99%, I should say. And it's coming out as soon as we drop Greatest Prize, which is going to be on by the time you guys hear this one. We are defining the dates and stuff, but it's probably going to be sort of late this year. The album's been ready for a while. It needs to come out because, we want to tell this story. The album's called Into the Upside Down. So, it kind of tells the story of all the songs kind of interconnect and intertwine between them. And it's basically just like, the main character or this person going through all these situations where we lived in the last couple of years, right? Post-COVID and during and post-COVID, because we started writing the songs in I would say 2019, I think, when we started kind of really thinking about the album and writing the songs and all that. So, and obviously throughout the pandemic, we started writing more songs and so what we're doing at the moment is dropping the singles because we want to build some excitement, we want to show people what we're about. And then when there's enough interest, which is hopefully by the end of the year after the US tour, we can drop the album. I guess it's going to be around October time, but
Okay.
yes, I can't precise, but sometime between October and November, we drop the full album, 12 tracks. There's going to be some new ones, obviously, that we haven't released yet. And
Now, is Deep in the Hole and Rolling with the Punches going to be on there?
all of them, yeah. All of the singles are going to be there.
Nice.
And,
Okay.
And a few extra ones, yeah, absolutely.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Are you going to do a physical release at all, or is it just going to be all digital?
We want to. We love vinyl, so and vinyl is getting more affordable now, as in for bands to make them. They're still very expensive. We talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Vinyl is still bloody damn expensive, but it's just a dream of ours as well, I guess, to get some. We've got CDs, but people are just not that into CDs anymore. We're going to be doing cassettes on this tour now, on the summer US tour. So we've got cassettes. We're working with a label from New York that only does cassette releases. And we later on, as I said to you, later on in the year, we'll hopefully be able to drop vinyl as well, because that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, I started collecting vinyl during the pandemic. I have like over 3,000 CDs. And so yeah, I got 3 roadie cases full of the shit, and my wife made me throw away all the hard shells, so I had to put them in like little slide, laminate stuff or whatever. But I still have them, and I will cherish them because I made the mistake, and tapes are making a comeback. Like you said, you guys are gonna have tapes on the road. I had over like 400 tapes, of all original stuff. And then when I was living out in LA, I'm like, I had to move all my shit back to Florida. And I'm like, I don't need all this crap. It's CDs, the new technology. And I threw all those tapes out, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And now as a collector, I'm a full-fledged collector now. And now I kick myself in the ass. I'm like, why did I throw those tapes away? Because those things are just going to be, the diamond in the rough. They're not going to be worth anything on the market or any of that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm worried about. But just having those for sentimentality, right? Because those are my Run DMC Raising Hell tape that I got when I was in like 3rd grade. You know what I mean? Like that, I still had that all the way up until 2000. But I made a stupid mistake. But physical releases, I love vinyl. It is expensive, but it is worth it if you're really into that band. And it's a way to support bands, right? So it's the way you're doing it now, because Spotify, doesn't pay you guys enough. But it's great for people like me and other promoters, because we can find these new bands and tell people about them. So, right, it's like kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like you guys are getting paid, but like people are still discovering it through that kind of stuff and putting on their playlists and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what your thoughts about Spotify, and we might as well talk about it since we're talking about it.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, we did talk about saying. I did say about let's talk about controversial things, and I think it's a love-hate relationship with Spotify.
Sure.
But mostly, I'll be honest, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but fucking it. I agree with you, because it lets and it kind of broke the the kind of the barrier, let's say, because before Spotify, we didn't really have an outlet. Yes, there was MySpace and some other outlets, Reverb Nation, but they weren't mainstream. They were very, very small. So I guess that it got to a point where people weren't buying CDs. The vinyl resurgence wasn't a thing yet. It wasn't happening. So it was very hard for bands to kind of just get the music out there, get heard. So I think Spotify works in that sense. And I'm suspect to kind of like, I don't want to say, they're the bad guys. And I've got an explanation why, because we've for some reason Spotify UK has been really supportive of our music. All our singles, ever since we put Always True back in, this is going out 2021, when we released Always True, they loved it. They put on loads of like editorial playlists, and that really helped us getting the word out there. and all the subsequent releases as well have been getting a lot of love from Spotify. So we can't knock them. They've been helping us to the point where when we dropped Deep in a Hole, our label found out about us through Alternative
Really?
Noise, which is a great editorial playlist on Spotify. And more than that, we got signs off of that situation there where the label guy found out about us and kind of got in touch. We started talking and stuff. That was back in March. And also the fact that we've been able to connect with so many bands from the US and the UK and all over the place that dig our sound and have similar, make similar music as us, kind of like, grunge gaze, right? Which is the whole grunge shoegaze thing that's making a resurgent now. And for that reason, I like Spotify. I know it pays peanuts, and I know I should be like, oh, fuck Spotify. Let's burn them down to the ground. But I'm a kind of guy. I love technology, and I think we gotta roll with the punches, man. We gotta sort of, you can't fight technology. It's not gonna go back. It's only gonna go forwards. Right. So
yeah,
we gotta, What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it democratized the music industry. Anyone can put out a new release, and you don't have to go for a label or through a major, to get your song out there. It's really cool, but of course it comes at a cost. It's
sure.
You gotta do your own work. You gotta record that song. You gotta pay to put it out, and you gotta do your own marketing and everything. It's more like everybody's becoming more DIY these days, which is great, And I think that gone are the days, where you would sign deals and then you get...
And everybody takes care of everything else. You don't have to worry about it. All you have to worry about is playing shows, right?
Everything. That's not like that anymore.
Yeah, I guess, because it opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
Because Spotify and all the other DSPs really kind of opened the floodgates. Anyone can have a go. But one interesting thing, and maybe because, people get really kind of motivated when they hear about that, 100,000 tracks get dropped on like music platforms like Spotify every day or every week, and I don't really believe that. I don't think that's a fact. There's a lot of probably a lot of re-releases and remasters and all that kind of stuff. And B, there's a lot of people dropping music, but how good are they? And that's not even going on the judgment of who's good, who's bad. I'm talking about like quality of the artist, of the recording, and also, how driven are these people to actually, or these bands, I should say, the artists, how driven are they to get out there? Because, if you scroll through Spotify, you find a lot of music, no doubt about that. But you're going to find a lot of musicians with like 5 monthly listeners, 10 monthly listeners. So I think that it's about how hungry you are as a band, how driven you are as a band as well to get your music out there. It's not just, I've dropped a new single and then
right, and expect the world to hand you a silver platter and a booking agent and a label and all that kind of stuff. You got to put the elbow grease in there, right?
Yeah, man. There's Tyler the Creator talks a lot about that you put an album out or a single, an EP, whatever. Promote the shit out of that, Don't stop promoting. I've dropped a new single and then maybe do one video and one call out and then stop. Man, you gotta keep promoting every day, constantly, until until people pay attention. And that's how I see things.
Do you guys go on there on Spotify? And speaking, and this is probably my last Spotify question. Do you guys go on there? And I know some bands will go on there and see different locations to where people are listening, right? So if they're like listening in Texas, you've got a whole bunch of listeners in Texas or this area. Are you able to see that data and say, okay, well, maybe we got a lot of listeners over there? Do you guys look at that at all and look at where people are listening and kind of like say, okay, maybe we need to get out there?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think you hit on a spot there that's really interesting as well. Visibility, that's something that we didn't have before. We didn't know who was listening to us, where.
That's a great tool to help, like, where people are actually, listening to you.
Yeah.
That's the added bonus, let's say, of having your music on Spotify.
I think, they might not pay us great, but at least they paying us something. But I think the added value, like Lucas just said, is that, they're showing us where our fan base is and where we should hit. So we've been, and that's the reason why we've been going back to the US time and time again, because you guys are our first country in terms of listenership, number one.
That's awesome.
Even before the UK, believe it or not, and we got US, Germany, and the UK. So, it's we have been using, like, answering your question. Yes, we have been using the data and kind of looking at, maybe we should hit this city, maybe we should hit Phoenix, maybe we should hit, like, Texas has a lot of fans there, and New York and all these cities, and that's how we've been playing and also hitting the UK. But yeah, I think it's definitely an extra tool that we can use. But they could do with paying us a little bit better as well. That's not to say that.
Seriously, I'm all for it, man. If there's something I need to sign, I'll sign it, dude. I want to get you guys paid, and they need to figure it out, man, for sure. But
I think there's been some talks going. There's been some recent talks about.
Has there? Yeah.
About maybe something similar to what the writers, the film writers industry had just kind of almost went on a strike. I don't think the whole of the musicians community could go on a full-on strike, but something of the likes. We see a lot of famous musicians taking their stuff off Spotify. Like you got the classic Taylor Swift's case and all the guys as well, Neil Young, and who knows? I think the industry, and I say the industry, like, Spotify and all these big players, I think at some point they're gonna have to realize that yes, they are the platform, but we are the artists that provide the products, and without the products, what's the point in a platform, right?
I mean, I think it's like you say, it's a double-edged sword, because it's like going back to the days of MP3. Yeah, a lot of the bands that I discovered, or we discovered back in the day, were through that, and I think they weren't making money because they weren't selling albums. There was a lot of whole discussions and lawsuits and everything going on, but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have discovered so many bands that I still listen to today. And I think it, in a way, helped a lot of these artists to break out, through this. And of course, like, not just Spotify, but all streaming platforms, they saw an opportunity there because they knew that there was this hunger to discover new bands and stuff, and they just wanted to. They were smart. They wanted to capitalize on that. So okay, let's stream, because people just want to hear music for free. That's what it is.
That's deep, man. Profound. That was a profound analysis. That I fully agree with that. I think that it's so cool what he said, that the way we found out about a lot of the bands that we dig still to this day, Rival Schools, Idlewild, Thrill of Dead, man, so many bands that we found out sort of early thousands, and it was through So Sick, LimeWire, and Napster, and all those guys.
Friends like
Napster,
I remember friends like through through MSN. Oh, I'll send you this MP3. Check it out. Like, oh, cool, man. And they're like, that's how it was. That's how you discover.
I think it's all about. I think that hunger to discover new music and discover new artists is always going to be there. And I think Spotify is just kind of like, it's what we've got right now. Maybe it will change, but they certainly managed to kind of capitalize well. But it would be nice to see them being a bit more fair to the creators.
I think what needs to change is more the mentality of the fan itself. Of course, I dig a lot of bands, and I wanna, when I know they're playing like London, I wanna go and see them, and that's how you kind of support them in a way. But you don't really support them in any other way, like buying merch or music or whatever. So I think the mentality of everyone needs to change a bit. Like, if you really like an artist, then you gotta find ways to support them.
It's a tough one.
Not only just
I think just to it up, we could go on and on, but just to wrap it up
Yeah.
on this one, I think the problem is that ever since the kind of like the rise of MP3s and downloads and streaming now, I think the value of music got really diluted.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. And we're never gonna go back to, you know, selling albums in MP3 and charging people £15 or $15. It's just never really gonna. We can try, but I don't think it's gonna unless you're Adele and Taylor Swift and all these big guys. But I guess I guess music, as you were saying, I guess Spotify and Apple Music and all these guys, they are a great sort of shop window, where you can find out about a band, and then you can see, oh, they're playing Atlanta, let's say, or they're playing Orlando, and then you come and check them out live, and you can buy their merch, buy their CD, whatever. It's a compromise, mate. It's what we've got, you know.
Yeah, it is, and I try my best because, you know, I do a lot of research on Spotify, you know, to do you know, discover new music, and because that's basically what this is about, right? But you know, the bands like you guys and with you know, Wes Hoffman, we just had him on a previous podcast, you know, and just developing relationships and you know, just loving music, and you want to support it no matter what. Like if you guys ever come into town, you know, I'm going to come see you. You know, I'm going to buy your stuff when it comes out. You know, it's about supporting, because I feel so bad because we have the world at our fingertips, you know, on Spotify. We can listen to whatever we want to. We can listen to stuff when we were kids. We can listen, you know, stuff that's current. But I feel like I'm not doing a just service, right? Like I feel like I need to support the artist. Wear the shirt. You know, I'm 47. I'm still wearing rock shirts. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'll be doing it until I'm like 80. I don't give a fuck. I'll be wearing a Fly Swatter shirt, you know, in 80 in the retirement home. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I'll support it, you know, because music has always been a huge part of my life. And meeting, you know, bands like you guys and actually loving the music and sitting here talking to you it's been a real pleasure. So I really appreciate you guys being a part of the podcast. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up. Where can people find you and stay kind of ahead of the curve? Where's the main place where people can, you know, keep up with the band?
Absolutely. We want to thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure as well. And you know, lovely to speak to someone like you that really kind of digs music on the same level as us. And if you want to, you know, if you enjoyed our music, you enjoyed, you know, our story here in our chat, you can check us out on Free Spirits, the band. That's on. We're very active on Instagram, so Free Spirits, the band, and Facebook as well. Twitter, Free Spirits Band, and we're on SoundCloud. Yeah, if you dig SoundCloud, we're on that as well, and YouTube, Free Spirits, the band as well. All our music videos and stuff, some live shows, and Threads. You know, there's this new thing called Threads now.
What is this even about?
I don't know.
It's Mark Zuckerberg's version of Twitter.
No, it looks more like Reddit. It's kind of like I
don't know what it is, but we're there.
Well, yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, Carlo and Lucas, thank you so much for joining. I don't know where the hell Flo went. He was in and out throughout the whole. Well, tell him thank you so much for joining as well. Appreciate it. You guys. You guys take care, and good luck out there on the road, and come to freaking Florida already. All right.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. Take care. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.